there and watch. Look, we have a fan. Hey.
It just
we're live.
Is what it is. Should I move the fan? Is that going to bother
No,
you?
I'm going to move the fan because we're live. And I don't
are
mind
live.
if we have fan or fans, but they need to not be a part of the picture. You know what, fan? Join our Patreon. How's that?
That'd be cool if we had a Patreon.
It would be.
Oh my god, this looks so much better.
Then
I'm trying to make sure that our
Last
audio is good. Yeah, I mean, it looks so much better than last time. We're moving up in the world. Can you believe that? I can't believe that.
who moved up?
We did.
I did.
We are.
Because how?
Because it looks better.
Oh, I thought you meant like for real we were moving up.
I wish. That'd be really cool.
Looks better. Oh, I thought you meant like for real we were moving.
Oh, look how good that looks.
That's pretty cool.
All right. Perfect.
I was watching Saturday Night Live. Do you watch Saturday Night Live?
I watch clips from Saturday Night Live. I don't watch it when it comes on.
Fair. Yeah, that's what I do too now. But I love Michael Che and Colin Jost. So I always watch them. But what was I watching? So I can't remember where it was. But he goes into a coma, and he comes out with a different personality. And they say they're showing him a picture of himself because he doesn't know who he is. And he's like, "Oh, that's the most handsome man I've ever seen." And they said, "You lost 50 pounds while you were in a coma." And he said, "I did." Made me think of "Don't Body Shame Me, Amanda." Or people say, "Oh my God, how much weight have you lost?" I'm like, "I don't know. How much do you think I lost?"
Like, oh, skinny legend.
How are you?
We had a day.
We did. Oh my God.
But we got through the day.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of us. We did it together.
Me too.
Teamwork. It was really awesome. It's really good stuff. And I'm very proud of us.
Time out. I gotta ask you a question. This is in all sincerity. I could not have done this without you. At all. You know this. I mean, I couldn't have. You're proud of me for today?
Yeah.
How come?
Because you did all the work.
I got done what I had to get done, but I could not have done it without you.
Oh, good. Well, you still did the work, so you should still be proud of yourself.
How much?
Just because you needed somebody there with you.
Well, I mean, but you gave me so many answers. You know what I mean? So it was a good.
Well,
day.
I'm happy that I could be here next time. I feel like next time something like that happens, we need to work on it together. Because it's a big part of my job description here.
Yes, it is. And
I don't know why I was not a part of that.
And I got railroaded into that.
Mm.
It was a grant. And it was only $5,000. And then it became 10. And I chose, and they sent a follow-up saying, "Hey, we have more money than we thought, or less applicants. You can apply for up to 10. And I was like, "Okay, thank you. No, thank you." And then the day it was due, our boss emails me and said, "Hey, are you going to get this other $5,000?" I'm like, "No, because I will have to be responsible for making those things happen." And that's why we had to do today.
Yep, there you go.
But it was, thank you very much.
Of course.
Yeah, it was good for me. Because you know what? I have not completed anything in a long fucking time. So that was nice.
Good. I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you haven't completed anything in a long time, but I'm glad that you completed something today.
Seriously. So
here's your reward.
It's my third one. Thank you. We don't have any M&Ms, and usually we
I
have
know. I
lots
was
of
so
M&Ms.
upset. I love the peanut M&Ms. Those are my favorite M&Ms.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite candy, Bill?
No, but do we have the conversation about if your house was made out of candy, how long would you live there?
Not very long.
I'd be like, it'd be your favorite candy. And I would try to eat like in places where people wouldn't notice, like under the baseboards and stuff like that.
I feel like I'll just collect a lot of bugs.
Well, it wouldn't, because this is Fantasyland.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yep.
Honestly, I would probably last a good amount of time. I don't eat candy very often.
Yeah, me too. But when I do, it's bad. You know. I mean,
you don't eat candy very often. You were eating candy for breakfast this morning.
Oh my God, what did you say that I agreed to?
I said I don't eat candy very often. And you said,
no,
me neither.
I eat candy all day every day.
You act like I don't see you every day.
I eat candy all the time.
Oh, Lord, that is funny. Speaking of candy, we're talking about dependency today.
Oh, we are. Oh. That's funny. Wow.
What are you doing this weekend? Or should we do that for the end of the episode?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. We'll save that for the end of the episode.
Waiting on 2 calls from attorneys and foreign bank, and then I'll let you know.
Sounds good. Somebody to magically get you $5,000. That's what we should use the other half of the marketing grant for.
Really? Oh my God. It's the stay-home grant.
my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So
Wait.
building was completely fucked up. Is everything.
But you know what?
Mm.
I think that's a very important thing to pause and to shine a light on right now about mental health is that people are so quick to judge people on things like disability or government assistance or things like that. But mental health literally incapacitates you. So those things exist to help those people not become homeless, foodless, all that other kind of stuff. Like,
The lessons, they happen really fastless. It's scaryless.
yeah.
I mean, really, it's weird. Yeah. I'm not good at asking for help either at all. You know this. I'm able to just ride this horse into the mud, all
Yeah.
the way. But anyway, so yeah, no, it sucks. And you know what? Thanks for saying that.
Mhm.
I'm speaking for everybody, but it's humiliating. It's horrifyingly embarrassing for me to be able to tell people what, hey, no, I haven't done that. Why? I can't tell you that because it's a secret. No, because I don't know.
Because I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah. And that's like the debilitating part about mental health is that people just tell you to like suck it up and just do it. But that's a part of struggling with your mental health is you physically can't do it. I mean, I can't relate to your circumstance specifically, but like I can relate to my own circumstance where like I can't take pills. I just can't do it. I don't know why. I can't explain the rationale behind it. I can't explain why it gives me such a fear response.
You're talking about aspirin. You're talking about everything.
Yeah.
But now
I can take Tylenol and I can take ibuprofen and I can take cold medicine. But that's it.
Okay.
But cold medicine is a step that I had to get to.
I was gonna say it wasn't always like that.
No.
Either. Okay.
Like I used to be able to take medication and then for a while I stopped taking medication because I was like, I just want to do everything naturally because I was on my natural health kick.
Yeah.
Silly me.
So the bipolar disorder.
Yeah, literally. For real. And then I realized, oh shit, I can't do this. I can't raw dog life like this. For lack of a better term.
I'm pretty sure that doesn't mean what you want that to mean.
I can't healthily exist in society without being medicated. Is what I meant.
Man, that's beautiful.
I actually said that in front of Chris one time, and I was like, I can't believe I just said that to our executive director.
How'd that go over?
He didn't understand it, I don't think, but Brian was next to me, and he started cracking up laughing. And I was like, oh, crap, that was really inappropriate. But yeah, and then I took that time off, and then COVID happened, and then I had really, really extremely bad health OCD to the point where I could not take medication at all. And it's just kind of been like that ever since. It like kind of bled over into food as well. So I wasn't actually even feeding myself properly. I was getting maybe at max 1,000 calories a day, if that.
Jeez.
Yeah. Lost a bunch of weight, had a bunch of health problems. It was like not a good thing. So now I'm slowly getting back, and it's so hard. But that's taken me, it's been over 3 years now. Mm-hmm. And it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of therapy, a lot of EMDR, just a lot of the gym, a lot of very active effort to get back to where I am. And I couldn't explain it to people. I felt embarrassed when I would go into the doctor's office and they would try to prescribe me something and I'd be like, I can't do that. I would be embarrassed when I would have to, tell people, oh, I can only take things in like tincture form or like liquid form or whatever.
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
And yeah, because physically, was there something wrong with you that was making, you know what I'm trying to say? Like brick and mortar. Was your brick and mortar broken? No.
Yeah.
Neither's mine. It's just really freaking weird. It's just, and there's so many bad adjectives for it.
Yeah. And it's something that like, unfortunately you can't explain it to people until they've been through it.
Yep.
Like, it's just really, and it's just like, people are just so opinionated and so quick to just judge people who are like on disability and like need government assistance, and they're so quick to be like, oh, they're just cheating the system, blah 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 blah. But no, that's not it at all. Like, I see people out in the community every single day who would rather not be on those things, who would rather be working a full-time job and living their lives.
And we had a good conversation about that when we talked about your dad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so it's just like, man, it's just hard out here.
It is hard out here. Struggle's real.
Struggle bus. is going strong.
um, go ahead.
What?
I don't know.
Would you like to continue this conversation, or would you like to move to the question of
We
the
can
day?
move to the question.
Okay. The question of the day, let me pull it up. In what ways can dependencies on people, substances, experiences, etc., both benefit and harm recovery? Well, I think.
Well, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What was like the third or fourth word? The dependencies. Is that it?
Yeah. In what ways can dependencies on
Got it.
people, substances, experiences, etc., both benefit and harm recovery?
Okay.
Your thoughts?
Well, I got to think about the benefits to being dependent on something.
I think for me, the benefits of being dependent on something like social media when I was young saved my life, for sure. It definitely was a way.
Hang on. I'm not pushing back on you because it's your experience.
Clarifying question?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know that dependence.
A dependent. I was 110%
I was going the wrong
dependent.
way.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going the wrong
I
way.
was.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I was definitely 110% dependent on it because
You
it
had
was.
to have it.
Yeah, I had to have it because it was my source of escaping loneliness.
Yep.
If I did not have social media and I did not have the resources that I did at the time, I genuinely feel like I would have been way worse off.
And part of that is because you found out kind of about what you were dealing with.
Yeah, and I found
online.
community.
Yeah.
Like I found a sense of community. I found answers.
So why I asked that was, we talked about this before, which is really important. But why I asked it wasn't like a hobby. It wasn't like
No.
I got into origami or I started canoeing because I had to have something to do. This saved your life.
Yeah, and it was definitely a dependency too, because like I would also use it for things like entertainment, and I would use it for escapism and to kind of, dissociate.
It was your third place.
Yeah, for lack of a better word, but it was truly, if I was not engaging online, or this was before like social media was really like a thing, until like MySpace came along, and then I was really, really dependent on it because that's where I found all my music. That's where I found a lot of friends. I found a lot of personal connections through that. But yeah, it'd be a thing. Like I would spend hours and hours and hours of my day when I came home from school on social media. I used to live stream on Justin TV before it was Twitch.
Did you really?
Yep. And when I was a little kid, which was a little problematic. I'm glad that I was not alive I'm glad I didn't have that mind frame as a child on social media today, because I feel like it's a lot more sketchy today. It was a lot more new back then, and a lot, I don't know,
there's lag time before the predators get there.
Yeah, but the predators were definitely there. Looking back now, I had people on my live stream, let me see your feet.
Oh my gosh.
Put a straw in your soda. Like,
oh my gosh.
And I didn't realize it at the time. Like I had no awareness of it. But yeah, I was definitely dependent on that attention. I was dependent on those connections. It was definitely a dependency that was both good and bad, like it wasn't necessarily the best, but it did save me from going into my head and being super extremely lonely and self-harming. And yeah, but that addictive type tendency towards that escapism definitely led me to some not so good.
Yeah.
Not so good dependencies.
I like how you said that, because I'm a abuser of just things, because just to get out of my current situation, so is that kind of what you were alluding to? There were other things that you did that you should not have, maybe?
Yeah, there was a lot of, sorry, I'm just pulling up the question again to make sure that we're like answering it properly. But yeah, there's a lot of times like my escapism led me down.
Tell me what escapism is.
Well, in terms of like social media,
okay,
like escaping into social media led me to doing some not so healthy things, like talking to grown men online because I wanted attention, or talking to what I thought was a person my age online who actually turned out to be a grown man, things like that. Yeah. But the internet taught me everything I know about life.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough.
AI too. So,
What do you mean?
I mean, it's teaching AI everything AI knows about life. Download the
But
app.
I think like something like the internet and the dependency on the internet can be both beneficial and harmful to recovery. Because on one hand, you have that community aspect, and on the other hand, especially with the social media landscape we have today, you have extreme access to information and also very convoluted information that isn't always the most accurate.
Yep, and
It's addictive.
yeah, and you know, you can jack yourself up by your own responses to your own social media.
Yeah. But then also like there's dependencies in recovery, like you're dependent upon your mental health medication. And that I would argue is probably a beneficial dependency.
I would say I agree with that one.
Like it's beneficial to recovery, although like, you know, we kind of kick ourselves and get upset that we have to, you know, rely on
Some
medication,
medicines, some medicine, yeah, and some I don't care about, but some I'm like that.
Yeah.
I hate having to take something to sleep,
Yeah.
but I do. But I would like to not have to do that, and so I'm taking half of what I was taking when I got this new doctor that I got a couple of years ago. And one of the two questions I asked her before I hired her was, will you help me get off this medication? And she said, that's not even legal in this country. So yeah.
Stop it.
So I'm halfway on that one. But yeah, I would like not to have to take anything to sleep. You know, we talked about this before too, though. I'm more about symptom management than anything else, and so I don't take it's a bipolar disorder. Apparently, I'm not taking enough of whatever it is to manage my symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scary. One thing that I think, I don't know, I have a problem with the word dependence.
Okay. Let's flesh it out.
Ooh, okay. I was saying of a case manager.
Okay.
When I had a case manager, a lot of that was positive. There were a lot of positive things. I don't think I would be in the situation I'm in now if I had a case manager. But I don't want to be dependent, right? And I don't want to be neglectful because I have someone else that's paying attention. And I think I've demonstrated that my neglect goes to everybody. It's not just someone that's my case manager. It's me. It's everybody. So I think that I'm dependent in some ways on the system itself.
Yeah.
For what I'm defining as my recovery, which is a really loose definition these days.
But that's good self-awareness that you know that and you're aware of that.
Well, thank you for
and you
saying
can
that.
put things in place to help you with that, knowing that.
Yes, I'm trying, and you're helping. People are helping. But yeah, I think that that's. I mean,
so, what is your beef with the word dependency? Like, what do you?
Oh, I just want to make sure I understand it correctly. I don't have a problem with being dependent.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I'm understanding that correctly because, you know, first language, whatever medication we have to take for whatever illness we have, that's a dependence, and that's an okay one.
Yeah.
Because it's going to keep me alive.
Unlike the dependence I had on painkillers when I was in high school, not a good dependency.
Or mine, yeah.
Not a good dependency at all. Although it did help my pain, I was not using it correctly.
Dude,
and that was a bad dependency for my recovery.
I used to run a lot, and I hurt my knee one time. This is 21 years ago. And I went to the doctor, and she was like, oh, that sucks for you. Do you want some medication, like, for the pain? And I'm like, sure. And she prescribed me, like, some kind of opioids, right? Oh, my God. So, you know, if one is good, 3 is better. So I took my 3, and I'm like, I love this. So that led me down a really dark path. Luckily for me, my attention span is really short, so the path is only like 3 months long. But it could have gone really dark because I was like, oh shit, now I get it. I felt so good on that stuff.
I did as well, and that's why it continued for as long as it did for me.
And I thought, you know, I was inventing everything that people that we work with now know. You know, oh my God, I accidentally flushed it down the toilet. You know, can you give me some more? Or someone broke into my car and stole it. You know, thinking, oh, these are good. So yeah, I even went to Tijuana. That's in Mexico. It's a whole different country. Because I had to go to San Diego on a business trip. So I go, did I already tell the story? I go to Tijuana, I go to this pharmacy, and I buy, a whole lot of what I think are, actually it was like stuff for sleep and then the opioids. And I go to get on the bus to go back across the border. And I'm like, where do I put this stuff? And so luckily there was a nice young man there and he saw the predicament that I was in and he offered to help me. And I was like, thank you so much, kind sir. Here's my things. And I'll just meet you on the other side.
Story.
Fantastic.
And you really believed him.
Oh, hell yeah.
You were that gullible.
Oh, yeah. As you say, you like a good Harrison story. Here's a good one. He would say to me, you are the most intelligent person I've ever met and the stupidest when it comes to street smarts. You have 0. You're right, I know.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is just hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that coming. Maybe that's the title of my autobiography. I
didn't see that coming. There, we found a title for our episode.
You're right, there it is. Didn't see any of that coming.
Didn't see any of that coming.
Holy crap. So what about being dependent on someone in a relationship for your health? Because
I don't think being dependent on another person at all is healthy unless it's your parent.
Like I don't either.
Like when you're growing up and you're a child, you are dependent on your parent to teach you viable things about living life.
Sure, you have to be.
For them to meet your Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? That type of dependency is healthy, is important, needs to happen, right? But there's the unhealthy form of dependency that sometimes parents fall into.
Oh shit, yeah.
Where it's over dependency, right? There's always over dependency and under dependency, really. That happens sometimes. So yeah, I feel like that's really the only case to be dependent on a person ever. Like I feel like you should generally be pretty dependent on yourself. Although I do believe that having a dependency on community connection and connection in general is healthy for your recovery, because I think we as humans are wired for connection. So if you find ways to make sure you're connected to other people, I think that that's a healthy dependency. But one specific person having a dependency on, I don't agree with. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And and I agree with you. And I was just going to take the other tack on it, which is when I'm in a situation where I'm not really healthy, I will let myself get dependent on someone that I'm in a relationship with. Yeah. And it's not a good position to be in.
Yeah.
For anybody.
No. I mean, yeah, I've had that situation happen. I unfortunately have the pleasure of having people dependent on me a lot. A lot in my previous relationships specifically. It's not fun. It is not, and I've been dependent on other people in relationships as well, and it's not fun and it's very unhealthy, and it's just, I do best when I want somebody in my life, but I don't need them in my life, right? Yeah. Like I'm not completely dependent on them for my emotional well-being. Like when I was in my first relationship, that was kind of where it went downhill, was because I was solely dependent on their attention and their, feedback and things like that for my well-being. Like if they hadn't talked to me all day, my day would be ruined. And it's just like, that's just not healthy. Yeah. Like you have to have a sense of self outside of another person. Yeah, definitely. And you can't, we as humans, we're human, right? We're gonna, other people's moods and lack of attention are gonna bother us. It's just the way things go. Yep. But I think it's just important, especially in like mental health recovery, to know like where the unhealthy line is for yourself.
I agree with you. And I caught myself, and I don't have the right words to finish my thought. It's really frustrating for everyone. But I was, no shit, man. I'm sorry. I got to flame out and eject on this one. I'm pulling the ejection cord.
You lost it?
Yep. What were we talking about?
We were talking about dependency on other people.
That's what it was. No, I know that.
And healthy, unhealthy.
Oh, yeah.
No? So, you lost it? Yeah. Okay, what about your experiences with an unhealthy dependency on another person? How did that impact your recovery?
Well.
Or what did it look like for you? If you want to share.
I don't think I do.
That's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah, it's almost uncomfortable.
Ooh, sit with that. Sit with that one. The uncomfortability of it.
Shit. I don't. Well, but yeah, if I am in a situation where I'm not doing well, then I can become dependent on another person, and like you said, you can't get out of that. There's really no coming back from that. And I don't agree with you that community is important. I hear people say, humans are wired for connection. I don't know that that's true.
It's absolutely 110% scientifically backed.
I just haven't read the research myself, but I do trust you more than I trust people on YouTube. So let's say humans are wired for some kind of connection, and it needs to be
mammals, animals, we're all wired for connection.
Mammals, animals wired for connection. So, yeah, I mean, but then if we are, then we are dependent on other people. But you said don't be dependent on one person.
Yes.
You can be dependent on the community.
Right.
I got it. Okay.
Like it takes a village.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good with that then.
Yeah. And that's why I want to be very specific in saying, like, we as people need that kind of socialization, need that kind of community, need to have some type of engagement with somebody at some point. Like, but I'm not going to speak for everybody because some of us are neurodivergent and they don't actually need that.
Yeah.
Some people don't need that connection. That's totally fine. But I feel like, we're wired for connection, as in when we're growing up, we need connection from our caregivers to survive and thrive. But I don't remember what my freaking point was.
I'm the same way. We did more work today than we do for me. You work a lot, but I busted 2021, 22, and half of 23 right out.
I swear this week I have worked my butt off so much that like I am just gonna be slumped this weekend.
You're going to see Bill Murray tonight.
I did that already.
Was that a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
I'm not good with time.
You and that memory thing, man.
Sorry,
you gotta go to the doctors. Get your head checked out.
That's a scary one.
But yeah, I think that I do want to make it a very like specific point. I think this is what I was trying to make the last time, is that like being dependent on socialization is very different than being dependent on a specific person for
it is.
socialization.
It is, and I like that. It was a really good one. Yeah.
Because sometimes like I feel the dependency on socialization coming out because I'll get really depressed. I'll get really down on myself. I'll go into like my depression hole and I'll be like, oh crap, like I'm just not doing well mentally. And sometimes I'll get in my car and go to a drive-thru. I'll get a coffee. I'll get a snack. I'll do something. And that is enough to bring me out of it. Because just seeing and engaging and interacting with another person,
I get that.
It actually helps. Or I'll go to the gym and I'll be around other people, right?
Yeah.
Like just, scientifically, being around a group of people triggers safety to our body.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
So
if it's the right group of people.
Fair. And it's actually shown genuinely that if you have a diverse group of people, it makes you feel even safer.
Yep. Yeah. I've read that actually.
Which is very, very, very cool stuff.
It's interesting. Was there a second part to that question about?
In what ways can dependencies on people, substances, experiences, etc., both benefit and harm recovery? I think we kind of talked about both of those, really. They benefit recovery because, like, being dependent upon community and even community resources is beneficial to some people because they need it and they need it to survive and thrive.
Yeah.
And then things like dependencies on alcohol, drugs, people, sex, junk food, candy.
Wait a minute.
Things like that could probably harm recovery.
That was ugly. How you did that.
No, I just threw in candy because we talked about it earlier. I'm just joking. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that? I feel like there's a lot more that we could probably flesh out about this question, but I feel like I've been talking most of the time. Is there anything that you want to add to this?
I don't know. So, there are two different types of recovery that we deal with, really. There's recovery from mental health issues and there's recovery from substance use disorders. And I think that those two recovery journeys can be different in some respects, in a lot of respects, but similar in some. I know for me, what I have to do, my dependency, you know what, it really is. It's both sides. It's pharmacological and it's physiological. People and drugs. That's the title of our album, People and Drugs. And I think it's okay. I think I'm okay with being dependent on medication if I understand it and have decided I can live with whatever the downside might be. And part of the downside is not cool.
Yeah, side effects are not fun.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've talked about this. I have to take myself out of the loop on being someone's person on the weekends and at night, because what I take to sleep. If you wake me up in the middle of the night, I'm gonna speak a language you never heard before. I just am. So, but that's important because it keeps me okay here.
Yeah, and you're self-aware. I think that's the most important thing, and I think that's probably the most important thing that we should ground ourselves in always, anyways, is dependency with self-awareness can be super beneficial to recovery.
Fair, yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, I like that a ton. And there are things that probably I'm dependent on that I have to do, like exercise that I do. I'm really good at doing those little things consistently on a daily basis. So I figured that, and this is not what we're talking about, but I figure I can, roll that into other things as well.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm okay being, I keep wanting to use the wrong word, dependent on medication, but not so much people.
What does dependency mean? A dependent or subordinate thing, especially a country or province controlled by another. Okay, that's
what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Lithuania.
What does dependent mean? Contingent on or determined by, or a person who relies on another, especially a family member or financial support.
Are you dependent on anybody in your life? That's
no one really.
Okay.
I'm dependent on the recovery center because it gives me a paycheck, but that's really it. And it kind of sucks, actually.
The paycheck, I know.
That and me not being dependent on anybody. I was gonna say something else, but I don't want to put that out on the internet.
What if I met the person in my dreams and I wanted to get married, and then could I get to where I'm dependent on them for something that would be healthy?
I think that being financially independent and intertwined, or being financially dependent on each other, I don't know, because even that is a slippery slope.
It's not slippery. It's straight up terror ride for anybody.
I would say maybe being dependent on the other person to pull their weight in the relationship, like being dependent on them to uplift the relationship. But like, you really shouldn't be dependent on them at all. But that's just I think that's just my trauma talking.
It could be 29 talking too, for real. You're 29, right?
Yeah, my age.
Yeah. It could be.
Because I can imagine having a partnership with, of course I can imagine having a partnership with somebody. I've done it so many times. But in terms of like a marriage, like being financially on the same page and working together to ensure the house runs properly and things like that. I mean, there's a certain amount of dependence that has to go into that.
Yeah, there's a ton of dependence that has to go into that.
Yeah. But I think it's just like the matter of not being overly dependent or too dependent or centrally dependent.
In an unhealthy way.
Yes. And what constitutes unhealthy dependence?
Well, we kind of talked about that earlier. I liked how you said about me being self-aware, but I'm not. But people around me are aware, and I trust people around me. And you've experienced some of that lately with me. And some of my other friends have been like, hey, this is what's going on with you. This is not healthy.
You can be dependent on your friends to tell you the truth.
And I am. And that's happened. So I think that to get the type of interpersonal relationship that you can get from a marriage or a partnership, you do have to be dependent in a way. But it doesn't.
Ruh-roh, Shaggy.
Well, hang on. But it doesn't have to be a terrifying emotional dependence. But you are physically dependent on someone that has a key to your house.
Yeah.
You just are. So, and financially, if they have access to anything that. I think sometimes of exposure. How much exposure do I give someone? When I draw boundaries in personal relationships, oftentimes it's so that people don't have access to parts of me that they don't need access to. Because if they get that access, then they have the ability to manipulate me. They have leverage.
Yeah.
And so if I keep them away from those parts of me, they have no leverage.
I think that's my problem is I'm an open book. I don't care what people know about me. I just don't.
I get that. And I'm pretty much okay with that. I don't care what people know about me. And then it would become incumbent upon me to provide an example of something that I would not let someone cross the boundary of. I don't have that.
Yeah, I think that, boundaries are probably really important to dependency. I'm working on my boundaries a lot. I mean, you're working, we've been working on my boundaries, your boundaries for literally since I started working here. And it's just it's a never ending learning process.
It is.
And I think that I have the issue where I had an enmeshed family dynamic where everything was shared with me all the time. There was never anything that was off limits, from the time that I was a baby child. So it's hard for me not to operate that way.
When you said baby child, it made me think of Talladega Nights.
That's exactly where I got it from. Dear, 8 pound, 7 ounce, newborn baby Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna come at you like a spider monkey.
Shake and bake.
I will say that I am 110% dependent on entertainment.
Fair, me too.
For my livelihood. If I didn't have entertainment like movies, TV shows, music, I genuinely don't think that I would be here. To be completely honest with you, I think I probably a long time ago.
Good job not saying it again. Did you ever see the Gary Larson cartoon? He did The Far Side. It was just a one-box cartoon and the title is What Families Did Before TV. And there's 4 people sitting on a couch, 2 kids on the floor, looking in the corner. So I get it, yeah. You gotta have something to occupy your time.
I mean, music has been around forever.
Music has.
Entertainment has been around forever, whether it be, through TV or you go and see plays,
True. Go and see plays. Hey, speaking of going and seeing plays.
Is that what you're doing this weekend?
No, I did that this week. I did that on Tuesday. Oh man, what a disaster.
You really didn't like it?
No.
That's so funny.
No, I did not.
I learned about Henry and his 6 wives in a history class that I took in college, and it was the most mind-boggling thing. He was just masochistic, really.
Really?
He was just a lot. Yeah, but I went to music trivia last night. I did some music trivia.
You did?
Yeah, they need to bring music trivia into
current day.
Yeah. They need to get with the times and hey, I'm 30 now. You don't have to play music from the 70s and the 80s. I love the fact that you're playing music from the 70s and 80s, primarily from the 70s and 80s. But if you could at least do maybe 6 songs from this generation, that would be great.
Where were you and how old was the crowd?
It was a very mixed bag of crowd, but I was at a brewery in Hamilton.
Hamilton has some nice stuff now. And this is not far from your house, I'm imagining.
Mm-mm.
Because Hamilton, for me, is 252 days trip from anywhere. It fucking sucks to get to Hamilton.
Well, that's where I drive. Well, I'm only 10 minutes from Hamilton, and I have to drive into here every day. So
it's ridiculous.
That's my morning commute.
They have some good stuff. So, did you win?
No, but I did not come in last place, so.
Dude, I'm embarrassed for you. Don't ever come in here and tell me you didn't come in last place and you're happy about that in trivia. I expect more from you.
Well, if they would have played anything from the 90s up, I would have definitely gotten first place. but because they kept playing 70s and fucking 80s, even 60s fucking music, I was lost.
Was the crowd your age?
There was a lot of them that were, yeah.
Okay.
But for the most part, they were probably
My
closer to your
age.
age, yeah. But that's always what it is with music trivia, and that pisses me off.
Was it because people my age are running it?
Probably,
There you
but
go.
also because like I've seen music trivia with very diverse crowds age-wise and even race-wise. But like for some reason, it's always old ass fucking music.
Here's how I let's go back to the Henry VIII thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's how I heard my experience with his 6 wives. So my dad passed away. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. And he used to go play trivia every Thursday night at this place where he lived with his daughter and son-in-law. And so my sister and I and our stepsister, right, and brother-in-law went to play trivia where my dad and they played, and it was kind of cool. So you had to write your answers down, and the last question was, we were like down a couple, was name in order the 6 wives of Henry VIII. And so I brought the question back and put it on the table. I'm like, what the fuck? And Sue goes, oh, I got this. And she wrote them all out and turns it in. She got them all right in order. She just knew this for some reason. And so we won. We won trivia.
Well, 3 of the answers are Kate.
Okay.
Like 3 of them are like Catherine. Like
Catherine.
3 of them all had the same name.
There's 2 Catherines, a Jane, and Anne. Who else was there?
I think there was. I just remember
2 Annes. Yeah,
Yeah.
Anne Boleyn, Anne
they all have the same
Yeah,
name, so
and a
you're gonna
couple-
have like a 50-50 chance of getting
Yeah.
it right.
A couple of Catherines. Yeah, true. Beheaded 2 of them. Divorced 2 of them. Yeah. It's just crazy.
Wild.
But the show was it was just a man-hating evening. I mean, I walked into the Aeronaut and immediately went, what? Because something was wrong. And then so I was like kind of figured out, and then what was wrong was there were no other Y chromosomes in the whole place.
Why do you feel like it was a man-hating thing? Is that what the play was about?
Pretty
or-
much, yeah. Because of what you said, he's a terrible dude.
Yeah. So was it just like anti-Henry, or was it?
Ah,
Did it lean
it was
more?
take your power back kind of thing.
Oh, I love that.
I
That's
mean,
so
too,
empowering.
for people who need to take their power back. We're not in a crowd where you're taking
You
it back
need to
from
take
people
your-
who.
You need to
took it
take your
from you in the
power
first
back
place.
from yourself.
I
so
do,
that
yes.
should have been a wake-up call for you.
Okay, I get that.
They were saying, take your power back, and they were talking to you too. So
It was just uncomfortable. But the
congratulations, you felt like a woman for a night.
I know, shit. We talked about that, the cost of tickets and stuff last time we did this little show that we do. It's weird being a girl. I don't like it. Mm-mm. I don't. But I tell you
Me
what.
either.
But it is nice when someone notices how nice you look. So
Until you hear it 50 million different times in 50 million different ways that are 50 million different shades of gross and creepy.
ooh. Did you ask me what I was doing this weekend?
I did.
Is that how we got to this?
Yeah.
Did I answer you?
No.
Okay. I don't think I have an answer for you.
Great.
What about you?
I'm supposed to hang out with one of my friends tonight. Then I'm going to hang out with Meredith tomorrow. We're going to go get some Red Robin. Yum.
Yum. I like Meredith. You know what? She needs to buy a vowel. And bottomless French fries.
Cannot wait. I'm so excited.
Bottomless French fries makes me think of French fries with like tank tops and bras on. I'm like, that's gross.
No bottoms. Just a Winnie the Pooh French fry. Also have no
exactly. Yep. Oh, bother.
Why was that such a good impression? Holy crap.
Oh, no, that one came out right.
All right.
What?
I think we're done.
Okay.
We've been going for 45 minutes.
I had a good time.
Me too.
Thank
Good
you.
conversation.
Yeah.
We really fleshed a lot
Hey,
of things out today.
Thank you for your help today. It
Of
was
course.
awesome.
Thank you for thanking me.
You're welcome.
Good job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of
Thank you.
course.
Yep. I think I'm going to sleep for about the next 60 hours.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Did I tell you that I found, see that quarter that's hanging on my, it's like magnetized
Yes.
to the, you know why it's magnetized and it's a quarter? And you're like, why quarters aren't magnetic? Because it's from the Cayman Islands.
Cayman Islands quarters are magnetic?
Yeah.
Apparently.
I found it at the bus stop in Grand Cayman.
I was going to say, I
No,
thought you meant
here. I
Here?
did, yeah. Man, isn't that weird?
Maybe that's your sign from God himself to go to the Cayman Islands. Get a break.
And I thought it was, whoa. You know what you can get for a quarter in the Cayman Islands?
What?
Yeah, exactly.
I just, my brain.
Quarter's worth. So
All right.
have
Well,
a good one.
yeah.
And then
I get to drive home in like an hour and a half traffic.
oh, that sucks ass.
I
It
can't
does.
wait.
Okay, I do have something I'm doing this weekend. My friend Melissa's coming down here tonight, and she said, "Do you want to?" I don't remember what all the choices are, but one of them was play pickleball all night, and I may take her up on that one.
Oh, that sounds good. Get your frustrations out with the pickleball.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I have to show you a video after this. It's really
Okay.
funny. All right, everybody. Goodbye. Thanks for joining us, even though nobody joined us this entire time, but hopefully you're joining us when we're not live. Have a great day.
Bye, y'all.